Cody
nice.
Worsham, he's over with LSU football in Scottsdale. They're set to board a flight this morning, get back to South Louisiana. Great work over there for the LSU digital department, headed up by Cody Worsham, and read the stuff online, lsusports.net. What'd you make of Burrow yesterday in that performance, man?
Well, the biggest thing that stood out about Burrow was his toughness, which is it's kind of been the trend all year with him. He, LSU's been pretty fortunate in that regard. I always thought Danny Etling was really tough. Burrow has a little bit of a different type of toughness to him. He's got a little bit of an edge to him. He's got a little bit of that nasty toughness to him, and LSU needed that yesterday. I thought UCF came out and tried to set a tone of intimidation, tried to set a tone of physicality, and LSU had to respond to that, and they did. I mean, they did in the way that they have all year with most of the physical teams they've played. And Burrow was kind of the ringleader of that. He, when he didn't immediately pop up after he got hit, I thought it was bad news. He said afterward, obviously, that he just got the wind knocked out of him. But even then, to get up after a minute, to go straight back to the sidelines, get up and go right back in the game, and I think the next drive was a touchdown. He went 2 of 3 for 40-something yards and the score. I mean, that's a heck of an answer, and the team fed off of that. When your quarterback sets that tone, that's really good for your team. And so, yeah, he was really good. He made some throws. He picked apart that UCF defense, and it was actually pretty good against the pass. If you look at their stats this year, they were like 15th in the country in passer rating defensively. He picked them apart. He used the middle of the field. His timing was so much better with his receivers, especially Jamar Chase. So just a lot of positive things to build on moving into the offseason.
You were around the team a lot during preparation. You were down there in Scottsdale with them as they were going through the pre-bowl coverage and through the festivities. What was the motivation for LSU? They looked like a highly motivated team yesterday. Was it the Central Florida 25 wins? Was it the guys being out? Was it being back on the field? From your point of view, what had them all juiced up yesterday?
I think there was a lot of talk about being a foundation, being the team that gets LSU back on the right track, that sort of gets the ball rolling. I heard a lot of coaches talking about that, a lot of players talking about that. They wanted to get that 10th win for the first time since 2013. I think the UCF stuff was nice. I think it was I think they enjoyed beating that team, ending the winning streak, talking a little trash in that regard. But I think it was more about LSU and more about, okay, this program can be better than it has been. This should be a championship program. Let's set that tone today, particularly with the leaders on the team. You look at guys like Foster Moreau and even a guy who'll be back next year like Lloyd Cushenberry. Some of these guys that LSU has in leadership positions weren't the highest recruited guys. They weren't the 5 stars that had a million offers. And so I think when those guys in particular at LSU, they want to prove those people wrong. They want to leave their mark in a significant way. And so for them, I think it was about just setting the standard that, okay, LSU is going to win 10 games every year. It starts with us, and we're only going up from here.
We're talking to Cody Worsham at Cody Worsham, digital reporter for LSU Sports. Check out his work. Follow him on Twitter. It's an incredible Twitter follow. Just a ton of good content. And one of the more impactful articles that I've read recently was the one that you had on Kerry Vincent Jr. and what he went through here just right before this bowl game and losing his father, what that meant. What do you think yesterday's win meant to Kerry Vincent and how he played? Played a very good game.
Yeah, Kerry was very good. He didn't give up a completion all game. They only targeted him 3 times. He kind of shut down his half of the field. I saw Kerry on the field after the game and, said congratulations, kind of patted him on the back. And that was the first time this week that I've seen emotion from him. He wasn't, crying or weeping or anything like that, but you could just kind of see it in his eyes that he had gotten through the game. He had used football as a vehicle to help him process some of this stuff, and I think he realized what he was going back home to face. So, right now, for me, my thoughts with Kerry are just prayers and trying to send him positive thoughts because, football was a welcome distraction, and it wasn't just a distraction either. He and his father bonded over football. Like, playing football was probably the best thing that he could do to sort of honor his father, and it's the thing that he wanted to do. But, now he's got to come home. He's got to deal with all the things that football has kind of helped him push back, and that's going to be tough. But he's a great kid. He's mature. He's grown up a ton over the last couple of years. He's now one of the guys that you can count on. You can count on him. Really proud of Kerry, and just hoping that the next week, the next months, that he finds comfort in what's going to be a really difficult time.
Another player that I think kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, just a very feel-good story, and one that has remained a feel-good story throughout the year, has been that of Cole Tracy. Now the NCAA's all-time leader in field goals made. Have you ever seen a player have a bigger single-year impact than what Cole Tracy did this season?
Yeah, it'd be tough to top that, T-Bob. Cole's such a good guy. I mean, you guys know it. If you've ever seen a second of media coverage with him, he's just the best. He's the best to work with. He's so consistent. The funniest thing that I got from him yesterday was, I asked him about the first field goal he ever kicked in college, and he said, I missed it. And I came off the field, and my coach was just absolutely screaming at me. And I just looked at him like, hey, it'll be okay. It's my first field goal. And to me, that sums up Cole Tracy. Like, he is just all about his work. He's all about his craft. He's all about his process. He doesn't really worry about results. He doesn't really worry about height. Doesn't matter if he's kicking a 25-yarder in an empty practice field or a 45-yarder in a stadium full of screaming fans. He's just kind of the same guy. So I think whoever takes the mantle next year and emerges as LSU's kicker and then future LSU kickers, I think that's a great example to look to of, hey, if you stick to your habits, your routines, if you work hard, if you work at your craft, if you're detailed, you can have success. Now, will they set an NCAA record? Probably not, and it's special that both Cole got to experience that, but also I think it's special for LSU that they got to experience this guy for a year who's one of the best to ever do it. And, I hope he has success at the next level. I think he will. He the way that he works is not only it bodes well for him, but it's also a good lesson for anyone to look to. He's just so diligent and dedicated, and it's a great story.
I got Richard coming back. I got Devon leaving. I got Divinity as one to watch. What do you think happens this offseason?
Yeah, this is when it gets crazy. All these guys come here. Every guy goes to play college football wanting to get to the next level. So I think all these guys that have a shot end up taking a good hard look at it. They evaluate it, and every year you've got some that come back that surprise you, and every year you've probably got a couple that go that surprise you. So yeah, your list is pretty spot on. I tend to go that way myself. Looking at a guy like Devon White, I mean, I think Devon would love to come back. I think he loves playing for LSU. But man, when you're going to be a top 5 pick, that's really, really hard to turn down. So I wish him the best. I'd love to see him back in purple and gold. I think everybody listening would selfishly, but also understand that not only does he have a decision to make, but he's handled this entire process as well as you can handle it. I think he's done it perfectly, and I have a lot of respect for him, and especially the way he played yesterday and the way that he spoke after the game. This means a lot to him. He loves LSU, and he did it right, from start to finish.
Great work from the desert this week, man. All season long, really. Thanks for the input. Safe travels back, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, thank you. I'll see you soon.
All right, man. There he is, Cody Worsham, coming home from Phoenix with the LSU football.